Hey, hello everybody. Aaron Kubis, personal trainer at Functional Aesthetics EC. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to people trying to lose weight. Um, and, although it's a pet peeve of mine, I can completely understand why people do it. So, um, what it is that people go to extreme, like these dietary extremes, and spend, start working out 6 days a week when they haven't worked out for years, or spending a couple hours in the gym trying to achieve their dream body, um, rather than using a more moderate approach. So hop on things like doing keto or intermittent fasting or doing the Atkins diet or all these different dietary protocols to try to achieve their fitness goals. So, really, the only thing you need to lose weight is a calorie deficit. Now, there are things that can affect you getting into a calorie deficit, such as hormone imbalances, inflammation, stress, things like that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to a calorie deficit. So, the three criteria for a good weight loss diet is number one, what is your energy levels like? So when you're on this diet, are you dragging? Are you able to get through the day, or do you have stable energy levels while maintaining a calorie deficit? Number two, how is your hunger? So um, are you feeling like chewing your arm off? Are you just miserable and stuff, and then end up eating everything in the fridge after a couple days, going on a binge and coming off the diet? um, Number three, cravings. So are you craving sweets? Are you craving fats? Are you craving all these things all the time? If any of those things are true, then you're probably not on a good diet for weight loss. Not to say that there won't be any of that, but a good weight loss diet should allow you to have stable energy levels. Your hunger should be relatively under control, and you should be able to not have too many cravings either. So the this is kind of why it's important to pay attention to what you're eating, on not only how much you're eating, because yeah, you could eat Pop Tarts and lose weight, but the point is not to lose weight. The point is to achieve a healthy body composition, and there's a difference between simply losing weight and losing body fat. And I mean, losing weight is relatively easy, although you can make it really hard on yourself if you eat Pop Tarts and try to lose weight. If you try to eat mainly carbohydrates and keep a very low fat diet, that can also be a miserable way to try to lose weight. Um, so, what I recommend instead of this is don't even try to lose weight, first of all. Um, not, at least not in the beginning. First, focus on improving your habits. Focus on, getting enough sleep, learning how to manage your stress, drinking enough water, trying to eat whole foods as opposed to processed foods. Once you get used to eating mainly whole foods, or even while you're doing that, try to adopt balanced meals. So eat balanced meals for for all your main meals, and then stick to higher protein stuff, vegetables and whatnot for your snacks. Um, then also, obviously try to get a little bit of exercise in every day. This doesn't mean you have to go in there and try to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or a Olympic, or professional athlete's routine. Even just doing, 10 minutes of light calisthenics a couple times a week or every day, going for a walk or a little jog after you get home from work, working out in the garden. It really depends on how much exercise you've been doing already, and then build from there. What I always say, because something that, I struggle with a lot of times, like for in my business, I'm extremely passionate about what I do, and I have big goals for where I want my business to go. So a lot of times I try to push the envelope, even though I know from experience that, it doesn't work out good in the end. And I'll think, I can just get a little bit more. I'm going to work just a little bit later tonight, and I'll get myself a little bit farther ahead. And invariably, what ends up happening is I get, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour extra work in, and then I am too ramped up to go to bed, so I stay up an extra hour later. And the next day, I'm burnt out and I get 2 hours less work than I normally would have gotten in, all because I tried to push for another 20 or 30 minutes. So it's about not what you can do in the short term, it's about what you can do today and then repeat consistently day after day after day after day. And then gradually build that over time, you know, as you're going along. So after you've done all this and you're eating a balanced meals from whole foods, you're drinking enough water, you're managing your sleep, you're exercising consistently, and you're feeling good, oftentimes that'll be enough to have you lose a lot of weight anyway, because sometimes inadvertently by doing these things we end up eating less calories. And so then our weight goes down and our health goes up and our energy improves and our mood improves. And so that's ultimately the goal. You want to feel great. Now, if you still want to lose some weight, then what you want to do is you want to, figure out, okay, how many calories am I eating to begin with? So track everything that you eat for 3 days and then average it out. And that'll give you a ballpark idea of, okay, this is how much I need to be eating to maintain myself. And then I would say, cut calories as little as you can. Don't, cut a bunch of, start out with this drastic calorie deficit. Cut your calories by, 15 to 20% to start. And some of that can come from a little bit of increased exercise. However, you don't want to fall into the trap of over-exercising to burn off calories. As I stated in one of my previous videos, is that the main goal of exercise is to improve your performance. Are you getting stronger? Are you building more muscle? Are you running faster? Things like that. And then you tailor your diet to whatever your exercise program is. But, depending on how much exercise you're already doing, you can slightly bump up your cardio or something like that, or, do a little bit more frequent exercise. And that way you can eat a little bit more and still maintain a calorie deficit. So one way that I find that is really a great way to stay in a calorie deficit without having to go into any extremes, and you can maintain your strength and your performance in your workouts, which is also very motivating, because like if you're dieting and stuff and then you go to the gym and you're just dragging and you can't get through it, it's really hard to continue exercising. And also you can potentially start losing some muscle in the process too, because there's not getting that stimulus to stick around. So then you lose muscle and you lose fat and you end up getting a smaller version of what you were previously rather than getting leaner. So what I recommend is doing carbohydrate cycling. And carbohydrate cycling is really simple. You achieve a calorie deficit by reducing carbohydrates, not eliminating carbohydrates, but just reducing them. So the first thing that you want to do is take and reduce or remove the carbohydrates from one or two of your meals, enough to get you down to that 20% calorie deficit, or 10% if you're bumping up your exercise a little bit. Now if for health reasons you are on a lower carbohydrate diet already, then what I recommend is reducing your dietary fats a little bit, but that's a topic for a different video. In this one we're going to focus on the carbohydrate cycling. So you can do something like that's very generic and just go for about 6 days, where you deplete your carbohydrates down and then bring them back up to maintenance on the 7th day, and then deplete them again for another 6 days. And that way you stay in a calorie deficit, but you never really truly go into ketosis. You feel your glycogen levels back up, and then you go back in that deficit, and you feel your glycogen levels back up, and then you go back in that deficit. Very rarely is it needed that you go into ketosis, even like a mild form of ketosis. You just need to be in that deficit, and as long as the carbohydrates are getting depleted, then you bring them back up. So another way to do it is just to go intuitively. So as you're working out and you're in that depleted state, once your workouts start, performance starts to go down a little bit, you say, okay, I need to add those carbohydrates back in. And then you go from there. So maybe it's a week, maybe it's 10 days that it takes, maybe it's only 4 days, and then you need to bring the carbohydrates back up, and you just kind of go intuitively like that. at any rate, in any case, you're still going to be in a calorie deficit. So uh, that right there, in a nutshell, is a very, and then it's also very easy to, bring calories up back in. You can almost do this indefinitely too, and very easily maintain a lean physique year round simply doing this. So remember, I guess in closing, that it's about a lifestyle. It's not about getting ready for the wedding, getting ready for summer, getting ready for your vacation or the beach or something like that. It's maintaining that healthy diet year round. And it's not to say that there's not going to be some obstacles and there's not going to be a little bit of challenges. Another one of my pet peeves is the people that tell you it's all going to be sunshine and butterflies, and if you follow this particular program, everything is going to be great. No, there's going to be some time where it's growth and struggle and and everything, but it should be manageable. It's like when you start a new job, right? If you start a new job, it's going to be a little challenging at the beginning, but then after a while, it just becomes routine. The same thing with this stuff. It should be sustainable. It doesn't mean that there's going to be no challenges, but it should be that you are progressively getting better rather than yo-yoing back and forth because it's just too extreme and not maintainable. So remember that the greatest achievement or the greatest gift that you receive in improving yourself and trying to achieve this weight loss or trying to achieve any goal in life is not ultimately achieving that goal. It's the person that you have to become. It's the changing your mindset, changing your discipline, changing your character, becoming smarter, growing as a person, and that's the most valuable thing you achieve. So I hope you guys found this video useful. Hopefully it cleared up some of your misconceptions about how to effectively lose weight and keep it off. And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all next time for more health and fitness related information. Thanks, guys.